Good afternoon, YouTube. A lovely afternoon today. And what I was going to talk about today is how much power do you actually need on a motorcycle? Because I think between me and Chris, we've got the perfect two bikes to make the case for each side of the argument. Obviously, me on this thing, you know which side of the argument I'm going to be on. Yes, on bikes like this, I do agree that you can't use all the power all of the time. Of course you can't. This thing is insanely fast. I get that you can't use it all of the time. However, I bet a lot of people would agree with me when I say that if you have more power, you can have more fun.
Absolute rubbish. 200 brake horsepower on a motorcycle is just not necessary. That green machine in front of me, to put it into context, has got more power than both my bike and my car put together. What's the point? You can't use it all. Very rarely are you ever going to be able to use 200 brake horsepower on any of the roads around here, or indeed the UK. It's just not needed. You can have just as much, if not more, fun on a lesser powered machine like this. You can use more of the power, or pretty much all of the power, pretty much all of the time.
It's easier to overtake. The bike a nod there. There you go. It's easier to overtake. It gets your heart pumping. It's just so exciting, this thing. It really is incredibly exciting. The words can't describe really just how much I love the power you've got on your right hand on this thing.
I also know full well I'll be making the argument that yes, you know, more power means you can overtake more easily like that. But, you know, given the nice amount of room, you can get past just as well on something like this. Just like that. I love the sound this small little parallel twin makes as well, with that exhaust on the back. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Crackles and bangs on the overrun. Small bikes as well, they have a lot more character, I think, than bigger machines, because you have to work them harder. You have to work the box, use the gears, rev it more, rev it and rev it and rev it until it screams for mercy, and then change gear. That's where the fun starts.
I know what Chris is going to say. He's going to say, no, you don't need that much power, blah blah blah. It's just stupid, unnecessary. But the fact of the matter is, he's never ridden a machine like this, so he doesn't quite fully appreciate just how exciting it is.
I think the sweet spot, really, in my opinion, is probably about 100 bhp. I'll say that. I had an ZZR1400 about 10 years ago. I think the rating on that was about 95 bhp. More than enough. More than enough. You know, so 200 is just, in my eyes, not worth it. Needless to say, I'm sure he's going to argue the toss. Comment down below, please. You know, which side of the fence are you on? Big power? Hello, chicken. Or smaller bikes, smaller power, more fun? Let us know. You know, you can pootle around at 30 mile an hour all day long, get up towards the top of the rev range. That's where it starts to become exciting. And you know, I'm not going to argue the fact that if you've got a lot more power, then it becomes more exciting. Well, yeah, maybe it does, but as the title of the video suggests, how much power do you actually need? Well, it's certainly not 200 bhp.
Honestly, I've never heard such a load of bollocks in all my life. You'll talk about not needing power, and the less power you've got, you can use it all the time, etc. But the fact of the matter is, on a day like today, with a nice road, a nice dry road, I can guarantee you the smile on my face is bigger than what it is on his face, because of knowing what I have available on my right hand. He'll defend not having a lot of power, of course he will, because he hasn't got much. But when you haven't got much power, you can't do this.
There he goes, look, trying to prove his point.
He'll say you can have just as much fun with no power, but the fact of the matter is, he's never going to overtake me. The only thing he's going to catch on that bloody thing is a cold.
Another upside, of course, to the smaller motorcycle is, as I mentioned before on the channel, cost. You know, I'd probably like to wager that I can run this bike for an entire year, fuel, insurance, tax, servicing, MOT, for less than he pays on insurance on that big beast. That's got to come into play, surely. You know, insurance for me for a year on this is, I think I paid 72 quid and a few pennies. Tax is about 70 quid for the year, so what's that, 140? A year's worth of fuel, a couple of hundred quid. You know, I think last year, insurance wise on that, he paid about £450, £500. It's a lot of money.
I know we'll talk about cost and stuff, and yeah, I suppose that's a valid point. His insurance is the cheapest policy I've ever heard of on anything. Honestly, it'd be more expensive to insure a pencil sharpener. So yes, he has got that going for him on the ER5. I won't deny him that. But as I said before, to me, motorcycles are all about having fun.
It's lightweight, it's nimble, you can chuck it about, you know, throw it into the bends. Something like that, yes, okay, it's nice to look at, it looks the part, you know, but it's heavy, it's cumbersome. I don't get it. I've not got a downer on bigger, you know, more powerful machines by any means. I'm sure, given the right application, they can be enormous fun, but on everyday roads like we've got around where we live, and indeed most of the UK, a smaller machine, in my eyes, is better. It's just better in every way. You know, top end on this bike I think is probably about 110 if you push it. You can't legally use that anywhere on the UK roads. Lived in Germany, on the autobahns maybe, but around here, certainly not. I have no doubt that, you know, if I got onto a more powerful machine, I'd probably really enjoy it. Of course I would. You know, I do, you know, accept the fact that maybe I could use a little bit more power on this.
So yes, I think you don't need, you know, yes, like as I said, you don't need to, well, you can't use all this power all the time because there's just too much of it. However, I certainly would rather have too much power than not enough. I imagine most people watching this video will agree with me. I can't imagine anyone born in the last 70 years, apart from himself, would agree with him. What I don't get is that he likes lots of noise. He likes lots of noise, but while not actually moving anywhere, which is a concept I just don't understand. Perhaps it's just me, but I doubt it. Anyway, that'll do it for this one, guys. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of this lovely day while the old man on his pedal motorcycle tries to keep up with me behind. Stay safe, ride safe, and we'll see you in the next one.